Listen up, YouTube! Chip here, the Iconic Sports Cycle Moto Vlog. What's up? Hey, good morning, guys. It's Sunday morning, and I'm taking a little quick ride. I do a little moto vlogging. I'm in the local neighborhood. I'm in Port St. John, heading through. I guess I'm heading towards Titusville, and I just thought I'd take you along for the ride. So, I thought this morning's subject I wanted to talk about motorcycle safety. Now, you probably get enough of that. Hey, you know, your wife, your mom's probably telling you, hey, put your helmet on, do something like that, you know. So, you know, motorcycle safety is important. You know, I've been riding a lot of years. I've been very fortunate that I've never been down hard, and but I've always worn protective gear. I am not what other people refer to as a squid. You know, I'm very covered up whenever I ride. I always wear long pants and boots and gloves and a helmet. Usually, most of the time, I'm wearing a motorcycle jacket with padding. It's at least always a long sleeve, thick long sleeve shirt. I believe that safety is important. I don't try not to leave a lot up to chance. You know, I mean, it's not only for my safety. You know, I got you know, I got a family to return home to. They're counting on me to come home in one piece, hopefully. So it's really important that I take every precaution that I can to stay safe and healthy on a motorcycle. Another thing that I do, which, you know, not everybody does, you know, before I take a ride, I always say a little prayer and ask for guidance, and also when I'm done with the ride, I give thanks for the safe ride. So I know not everybody does that, and it may not be your thing, but I find that being on a motorcycle, that you know, I get a lot of time, you know, with clear thought, where I can actually get into prayer and ask for that kind of guidance and help. So, you know, like I said, it's not for everybody, but if it is you, I mean, you might try it. It's, you know, I find myself to be at peace, and my thought process works a little better when I'm riding. And therefore, you know, prayer seems to come flow pretty smoothly, I'll say. So, again, heading towards, well, right now I'm heading towards US 1. I'm going to head north towards Titusville. This is the little power station sub-plant there. Oh, some railroad tracks here, hang on. Hey, get a little air. So, of course, US 1, again, rides along the river, the Intercoastal Waterway. Also, you know, across from here, you'll see the landmass across from this area. That's the Kennedy Space Center. Really can't get into that area unless you're an employee out there, or military. You get clearance to get out there. There is a visitors area where you can go, and you know, from the Merritt Island entrance, where you can go and see a little history of the space program. They've got like a little museum out there. It's free to go through. If you're over this way, highly recommend it, especially if you're like the space program and into science and so forth. Look, we've got a bunch of bikers out. Yeah, it's a good morning for a ride. It's not too hot just yet. They got a little breeze going on. Looks like we got a couple of hot rods out this morning, so probably a car show in the neighborhood somewhere today. This area, you know, got a lot of guys in their cars down here. Got your old-time hot rodders and muscle car guys, and you even got a lot of these import guys with their souped-up little Hondas and Nissans. Again, I'm a car nut, so, you know, I kind of appreciate all of it. Technology's different, but the end goal is the same. Make your car cool and go fast, you know? So, again, it's something that I like to see here in Florida. You'll see this time of year is, you know, springtime, before it gets too hot. They have a lot of car shows, and lots of them are designed as fundraisers for different organizations. So it's always kind of cool to come out, support those local programs. That is really cool. Check that out. Love the fuzzy dice. So here's passing the Space Coast Airport. Not too far from here is the Warbird Museum, which is where they have the old fighter planes. Once a year they do an air show locally where they'll have the fighter jets come in and they kind of fly over the place. It's kind of cool. See the old-time jets flying alongside the modern jets. It's kind of cool. I say old-time jets, but yeah, we're talking about old-time airplanes, propeller planes too. They also have some of the old biplanes. It's really kind of cool. Never had a desire to fly. Never, there are people out there that really want to fly or really want to jump out of airplanes. I'm not one of those guys. I kind of like to stay grounded. I like to keep my 2 wheels on the ground. But again, hey, things change. In the future, we may have, I don't know, some type of flying machine that looks like a motorcycle or rides like a motorcycle. You never know. Watching an interesting thing on YouTube this morning about Elon Musk. He's about to change the world with the Tesla motors. So keep an eye on that guy, will you? But now get back to the safety thing. Again, I like to be sure that I'm well dressed for the ride. And it doesn't cost as much as you may think to be fully protected. Yeah, I bought a couple of helmets new, and I usually wait till they're on sale. I get a deal on it. And I bought a couple of helmets used from thrift stores. There's some helmets you can buy, the linings will snap out, you can take them out and clean them. And I usually use wheel polish and polish them out. You can take the yellowing out of the lenses and take the oxidation off the helmet. That's not, wheel polish usually isn't very abrasive, but just enough to get the oxidation off. So I take these sometimes older looking helmets that have been sitting around in somebody's garage for years and, make them look like new again. So, it doesn't have to cost you a lot to be safe. Same thing with the boots. I've got like 6 pairs of boots, 2 of which I bought new. The rest of them I bought at Goodwill stores. When you're riding daily, sometimes you get that time of year where you get a little rain, and even though the boots say on them weather resistant or waterproof, not always the case. You get around 60 miles an hour in heavy rain, the water seems to find its way in. So having a change of boots is always good, especially that time of year when you get a lot of rain. In Florida, we do get like a rainy season where you will have afternoon thunderstorms. So it's always good to be prepared for that. I always I have a tail pack on my bike where I always keep my rain gear handy, because again, as beautiful as the day is today, at any moment we could have some rain. So again, even rain gear. I bought rain gear at the local Goodwill or the thrift store, so that's not unusual either. So right across the river there, I don't know if you saw that big building. That's where they assembled the space shuttle, or used to assemble the space shuttle, where it was kept. So they'd roll the space shuttle out of that building and take it over to the launch pad. I think the machine, the rover that brought it to the launch pad, only did like 2 or 3 miles an hour, so it wasn't a fast process. Right now we're on US 1 in Titusville. There are a lot of nice areas in Titusville. This is kind of one of the more older towns in the area. Again, it was a boom during when NASA was building, which is so similar to the Fort St. John. Not so much now. It's kind of sleepy, laid-back little town, but it's pleasant to come to. Again, another river shot. What was playing? Oh, look at that. Avengers. Maybe I'll check that out later. Now we're kind of been down to kind of like the heart of Titusville, the so-called center of town. Down there, we're going to be passing the high school here shortly. They have 2 high schools in Titusville. They have the regular you know, Titusville High School, and they also have Astronaut High School. Imagine that, Space Coast Astronaut High School. You know, pretty clever, huh? But you know, this is what this place is known for. I mean, even though they're not doing the space program like they once were, it is still pretty much, this area is pretty much known for that. Many of the companies in this area are geared towards aerospace industry, and they, even though they're not launching rockets out of here daily or space shuttles, they still have quite a bit of what's done in the space industry is done in this area. It would be nice if we had some type of replacement for the shuttle program, get this place moving again. Now in the distance there you can see that causeway, that bridge over there. That's a fairly new one. Maybe we'll take a ride over that and back. There's some parks over there, boat ramps, fishing areas. You get people coming from all over the area, like, you know, Orlando and whatever, to launch their boats from there, because it's a good place to launch a boat. Again, I kind of prefer my two wheels on the ground, not on the water. I like to keep well planted. Get a little drive-in restaurant up here. It's been here for, well, since I've been here in Florida. It's right here, Moonlight Diner. It's a, you know, typical drive-in, old school. You can pull up, they'll come out, wait at your car. I haven't tried it on the bike yet, but hey, they probably do it on the bike too. This is really a nice morning to ride. Weather's just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what the temperature is, but it feels like it's 60-ish, you know, mid-60s. It's got a light breeze. You can probably hear the wind noise in the background. Maybe I'll just take a ride by the river. Yeah. Let me just take a little ride down here. Again, this is one of the older areas in Titusville. Some of these homes have been here for a while. They're kind of the old style concrete roads here. Been patched a few times, obviously. But as you can see, these are some of the older homes in the area. Speed mechanically checked. I wonder what that means. I see some nice houses here along the water. As you can see, some of these are some of the older homes around. It's a sweet looking Jeep. Love the orange colors on those things. Now this is where it's called Washington Ave. It's actually still part of US 1. This end of US 1 is kind of split in two different directions. So you've got your north and southbound direction. There's a little fork in the road, well, you know, one direction either way. And this is one of those long lights, it looks like. Come on, pull up. There we go. And now we're heading down into the center of Titusville, the old school Titusville. And many years ago, I was fortunate enough to train with Dr. Walker in his Aikido school down here. He was an amazing man, capable of amazing feats for such a small man. But it was right over here in one of these buildings on the side. I had the school here for many years. Unfortunately passed away a number of years ago, and you know, that school closed up. There is another school that opened up that teaches his style of Aikido. So alright, we're going to head over the bridge here. Again, I'm well dressed for the ride. I got my gloves on, my boots on, I've got my cargo pants, and I've got my motorcycle safety jacket and helmet, of course. I have several helmets. I have about 6 helmets. You have, you know, most of them are full face. I do have one that I call the squid lid. It is, you know, I used to use for like local riding, like around my neighborhood, just for, you know, those slow speed rides, but not really out on the road. There's a nice park out here. When my grandson was little, he played a couple ball games out here when he played Little League. So we'll go over the river here. This is, like I said, it's a fairly new causeway bridge. It sits up kind of high, so when we get up to the top, we should be able to see see the river clearly. Looks like the guy in front of me is doing a little sightseeing, slowed down quite a bit. We got the little river islands out there in the river. See the guys on the boats out there docking, doing some fishing, a partying, or whatever. And like I said, you see the boaters coming in and out here. There's a boat launch up the way here. Hey, isn't that nice? These causeways here in Florida are beautiful. Now over there, where I'm looking now, is like a little nature reserve. You can drive your car or truck through there, and it's like a little bit of a wetland, and you know, you'll see alligators and wild birds and all kinds of stuff out there. So always makes a good ride. There's the boat ramp over here. You see all the cars and trucks down there with the trailers on it. Like people like to do their exercise walking over the bridge here. And it's not unusual to see people, there we go, see people fishing right off this little strip of land right here. I don't know what they catch out there, but there's a lot of people fishing out there quite often, so it must be something good. And this time of year, you know, being springtime, it's not unusual to see dolphins in the river here. We saw some yesterday. A little pod of dolphins just kind of swimming around. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to go all the way down in here. A little beach area. If you take this dirt road down here, that'll take you through the wildlife area. It's, like I said, it's kind of cool. Generally, when you should get out there towards the river, you'll see some gators out there. And not being a Florida boy originally, you know, it's kind of cool when you see a gator. You know, it's not like the daily thing. You know, people that live there all their life, you know, they see gators, whatever. You know, to me, hey, it's cool. I like gators. I don't mean the football team. I don't watch football. So, heading on back. Now, I use the term squid lid. Squid being a term that I've heard a lot of motovloggers use. Some of them use it, you know, to kind of describe people that don't get dressed appropriately for the motorcycle ride. I've actually been on either I-95 or the B-line. I've seen people riding, you know, high-speed sport bikes down the interstate wearing nothing but shorts and flip-flops. I don't know what they're thinking. Superman, you're going to take a ride, you fall off that thing, man, you're going to spend a lot of time with skin grafts. I've heard, if you watch other motovloggers, you might have heard the term squid. Some of them like using it, some of them don't. Some of them will reprimand you for using it, because it's, you know, it's all about personal choice on a motorcycle. And I even though I don't understand it, I guess, you know, we have the right to live free and, you know, not impose our opinion on others. Well, at least we used to. Anyways, the term squid, I guess, from what I understand from watching some of the other motovloggers, actually came from the skater world, where these kids on their skateboards would wear their helmet and they'd scuff up their knees and elbows and so forth because they weren't completely covered up. I guess it was came from the term squirrely kid, and it was shortened to squid. And then somehow it got transferred over to the biker world. So if you're on a bike and you're not properly covered up and you should happen to take a tumble, it's probably not going to end too well for you. Again, you know, motorcycle accidents never a pretty thing. You know, it's always you know, risk involved. But again, I believe in taking every possible precaution to be sure to ensure your safety. Like I said, it's a good idea to plan ahead. You know, I'm grateful that you know, I'm able to plan ahead for these things. You know, I go to the local Goodwills, and you know, in the summertime, in the spring, you know, sometimes you'll get some good deals on some ski clothes. You know, and you say, what do you ski clothes? What do you need ski clothes in Florida for? Well, you know, they make good winter riding clothes. Keep you nice and warm. I wear ski bibs and, you know, buy long johns. You know, I think it's important. You know, if you're riding a bike and it's you know, the outside temperature is 30 degrees and you're riding at 60 miles an hour, let me tell you, you're in for some chill. And if you're not prepared for that, it's probably not good for you. Hey, Spaceport Cycles. Hey, hi guys. Local KTM dealer and Suzuki dealer. Been there a few times looking at bikes. Nice folks. Uh-oh. They're little buzzards. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Turnpike turkeys. It's not, now this road, if you were to follow it through, will take you all the way into Daytona. So obviously you would see many bikers up that end of it. You know, this is a very well-traveled road by motorcyclists. And up here on this area is known for a lot of medical buildings. The parish hospital's up here. Nice hospital. Done some amazing things for our family in the past. Very grateful to the services received there. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of doctors' offices and medical testing facilities over here. There's the hospital. Now, you never want to have to visit a hospital, but if you do, it's good that they're there to support you. Take care of your needs. Hopefully you have something resembling healthcare. Let's see. I'll go over here to Eastern State, Florida. Let's see what's going over here. Now, the reason I'm heading in here, talking about safety this morning, this is where I took my motorcycle safety class. And they set up back here. Now, it doesn't look like they're out here today, but they set up the parking lot back there with cones and so forth, and had instructors come out. We watched some cool videos, learn how to be safe on a motorcycle. But it doesn't look like they're there today, so. Yeah, this is where I took my class, right here in this parking lot. A couple of years ago, I bought a CBR and was going to get full coverage insurance on it, and they said, hey, you ought to take a class. It'll lower your rate. So I did. You know, being the ultimate cheapskate, you know. Spend $200 now, save a bunch of money later. Yep, I'm in. I actually learned a lot, even though I've been riding for years. I have to be honest, I've been riding for so long that, you know, some technology has changed. Even learning simple things like, hey, if you're following somebody on the right side of their car from behind, that new mirror that they've got, that, you know, objects may appear closer than they really are. Well, guess what? They have no idea where you're really at. So, I picked that up. You know, like I said, I've been riding a long time, long before those mirrors came into existence. So therefore, hey, I learned something new. It was good to get some coaching from professionals, you know, kind of critique you, point you in the right direction. So even an old guy like me could learn something new. Old dog learning new tricks, so to speak. Woof. Alright, here we go. little breezy today, so I hope we're not getting too much wind noise on the mic. I still have it covered up with some foam rubber. Still been unable to find the little rubbery things that you put on there to, you know, the professional quality ones. Again, I'm using my homemade job. But it has seemed to work in the past, so I'll keep using that until I can find what I'm looking for. You know, I believe in riding, you know, with full gear, safety gear. Again, I know there's a lot of conversation about that on YouTube and the different forums. Again, you know, I got to respect people's rights to not be properly dressed. You know, again, I don't understand it, but you know, it is their right. You know, I've seen, you know, people go down improperly dressed before, and again, it's not pretty. And again, I feel very fortunate that I've never been down hard. You know, I guess I don't even really know what it's like. But hey, if I do go down, I feel I want to be prepared for it. You know, especially at my age, and my probably recovery time would be a little bit longer. I like having the spine protectors built into the jackets, and the elbow pads, and the shoulder pads. I always wear thick pants, you know, cargo pants or something. You know, just something that's has some thick material to it. Now in the summertime, I usually wear a good motorcycle or mechanic type glove, you know, something with a lot of padding around the knuckles, a lot of padding around the palm, but a little bit lighter weight so that you can got a good feel for things and a little air breeze through. And then in the wintertime, I've got some ski mitts. You know, you know, your hands get very cold. Again, it doesn't get really cold here in Florida, but you know, if it's 30 or 40 degrees out and you're cruising, again, it's 60, 70 miles an hour, your hands are going to get cold if you're not properly prepared. So I think comfort is part of being safe on a bike. You know, if the reason I sold my CBR was, you know, we used to wear me out on long rides, and the riding position was a little too aggressive for my old age. And I get fatigued, and I didn't think it was a good idea to be fatigued. And I love riding sport bikes, you know, especially the super sport riding bikes, you know, the real aggressive riding position. They do handle amazing. You get your weight right where you need it to change direction quickly. But again, you know, those long rides, if you're old like me, it's going to wear you out. And again, if you're fatigued and you're not really paying attention to the road, you're more like, my back hurts, my neck hurts, you know, that sort of thing. So I think that being aware of what's going on around you is really important. I don't believe in riding when I'm too tired. Of course, I'm never under the influence of anything, but you know, good family life. You know, I would never get onto any type of motor vehicle under the influence of some type of substance, you know. Well, I don't use that kind of thing anyway, but I think it's good to have a clear head. I think that that's your biggest safety equipment right there, is having a clear head, knowing what you're doing, paying attention, and I hope others are paying attention to you. That's another important thing. On days that it's rainy, or it's days that it's you know, we get foggy days here in Florida. Sometimes in the morning you get up and it'll be pretty foggy, visibility be low, and so I've got some reflective jackets. I've got a Icon vest with the mil-spec vest, which is really reflective. When those days crop up, I throw on the vest and throw on one of the reflective jackets, so make sure I'm visible out there. I have several helmets, and on the, you know, rainy weather, I'll try to wear a white or multicolor helmet to kind of, you know, make myself a little bit more visible. I think that's important too, to be seen, you know. Most of my jackets are multicolor, red, white, black. You know, just kind of breaks things up. I think it catches people's eye, makes you a little bit more noticeable. You know, there are companies out there that sell high visibility jackets and helmets. The material that they use, some is pretty reflective, makes it easy to spot. So you know, those are good ideas. I highly recommend you taking that into consideration anytime you ride. I said, this is a nice road to ride on. You'll see a lot of bikers out here. Bike sounds good. So I'm on my way home now and take care of one of my chores. I'm gonna wash my bike. You know, probably wash the wife's car, but you know, it's that love bug season again. I don't know if you've ever been through Florida, but we have a season where we get these nasty little bugs. They get all over everything, especially your car, your windshield. They make a big mess out of everything. They stink. They taste terrible. I say taste terrible because if they get up in your helmet and you ingest one, they are quite bitter. Don't recommend that. Hey, nice get away from the Harley guy. Yay! I usually get away from the sport bike guys, even though I'm not really on a sport bike, so to speak. I'm more on a retro, but you know, I usually get a wave. Harley guys, I wave. Sometimes they wave, sometimes they don't. But you know, it's always kind of cool when they do. And we're coming up here. Up here on the right, there's the SPCA thrift store. My wife and I spent a little time in there. I've bought some pretty good motor riding gear in there. In fact, that's where I bought my mil spec vest. It was new in the package for $15. Can't beat a deal like that. And these thrift stores, like I said, sometimes you get a good buy there. There it is, the SPCA thrift store. Of course, the money that they raise is to help the local shelters for the dogs and kitty cats. And so most of these thrift stores have some good charities that they support. The Goodwill, of course, you know, they help people find jobs and they help with rehab of people with brain injuries. I think that's a pretty amazing thing to do. So I'm happy to support the cause. Plus, get a lot of cool stuff on the cheap. Because I'm cheap, I'll admit it. You know. Little motorcyclists. So this isn't my typical Sunday ride. Usually I ride over to the local Cracker Barrel and I pick up a couple of loaves of white sourdough bread to last the week for my breakfast. My wife and I like to enjoy the Cracker Barrel sourdough bread for breakfast, toast. But we were in the neighborhood yesterday, so we picked it up yesterday, so not making that ride. Then I usually come back through the Windover Trail on the way back, which is always a pleasant ride. Lots of little twisties. Always enjoy that. It's a State Road 50. This will take you all the way into Orlando by way of Bithlo, where the dragway is. Yay! Love to go to the dragway. Yeah, I grew up in that era. You know, muscle cars and stuff, street racing. Not real proud of some of them bonehead moves I made as a kid, but you know, I think most kids do. Put a 17-year-old behind the wheel of a 500 horsepower car, and shenanigans are bound to ensue. Now we're coming up to here, and if you're a car guy, you're probably familiar with the name Eckler. This is the Eckler facility over here on the right. Back in the 70s, he was well known for custom Corvettes. He had some of the finest looking machinery on the road. Now they kind of specialize in restoration of car parts, you know, Corvettes, Mercedes, you know, all these a lot of these old cars they fixed up. They just built a new facility up there in Port St. John, up on the Grissom Parkway. So they're expanding. And all the pretty Jeeps, like Jeeps. I never owned a Wrangler style Jeep or CJ style, but I've had a couple of Wagoneers. They're tough as nails, or as my friend Sean likes to say, tough like dirt bikes. But I've always liked the old little Jeeps. Had a couple of Scouts. That was those are nice. Now I'm coming up here. I'm gonna make my exit off the US 1 up here. Now the overpass that's up ahead there, that will take you out to the Space Center. That's the way you need to have your secured passes to get out there. I do not have one, so we won't be going that way. Just don't feel like getting shot today. I don't know what to tell you. That is the Tycho Airport. That's the one I talked about where they have the Warbird Museum. It's hard to say, Warbird Museum, but it's where they keep the old planes. Kind of cool. And right up the area, that's where they fly the old planes for the show. Yeah, there's a little place up here called the Enchanted Forest. Drove through there a long time with my wife. Let's see, I think it's right here. I don't know if it's open or not, but maybe we'll take a ride through there. Now, the Enchanted Forest Sanctuary. There we go. Speed limit 15 miles an hour. I better slow down. Gates locked at 5 p.m. I'll be out of here long before that. So we have a lot of these little sanctuaries here in Florida. Kind of look at the like a little wildlife reserve where you can come out and look at the little bitty bunnies. You know. Always a big fan of the Florida wildlife. You get the big land tortoises down here. There's a place in Satellite Beach where they got a park out there where it's not uncommon to see the big land tortoises just walking around. And sometimes they're button heads. So I'm not going to do any walking the trail, of course. I'm just taking a ride through. Oh, look, they got a gift shop. Hey, one of them plastic bunnies, please, sir. Little picnic area. Come out and feed the squirrels. To the alligators. No, just kidding. Like the furry little squirrels. My wife used to feed squirrels at the house. She used to buy peanuts, throw them out in the front lawn. We'd have big crowd of squirrels on the lawn every morning. Until the hawks started picking them off the lawn. Then my wife stopped feeding them. And she realized she was feeding the hawks, not the squirrels. Hey, nice little curve here. Whee! Knight Industries. They built some pretty nice weaponry, actually. So Knight Armament, another Florida free-spirited company that builds Second Amendment goodies. We have another one locally, the Keltec. Keltec makes some nice little handguns and rifles and shotguns. Personal defense and home defense weapons. I think that Second Amendment is important. You know, have the freedom to defend yourself. Even though there are people that like to take that freedom away from me. And I say, no, we'll never do that, but whatever. And we're heading back to Grissom Parkway. Over there is the Titusville PD. Now, although I live in an area called Port St. John, it's basically a Cocoa zip code. This is the Cocoa PD, and you'll see that I live closer to Titusville than I do to the center of Cocoa. So that's what I want to talk about today, and talk a little bit about safety, the importance of getting home in one piece to your family, and you know, don't leave any widows or crying moms. You know, if you can, do whatever you can to protect yourself. You know, if you're in an accident, you only might have that one opportunity. You know, when your face is heading for the pavement, might not be the time to think, hey, I should have been wearing a helmet. You know, I know it feels good to ride, you know, especially when it's really warm, to feel that breeze, but you know, it does come at a cost. Buy a vented helmet. You know? Crack your visor a little bit. You know, you'll get a breeze, you'll get the fresh air, and you'll be safe. So again, I don't mean to preach to anybody, just my opinion on the subject. I like to think about these things. You know, since I've been watching the motovloggers, you know, I've heard the term squid, and I kind of do this little game in my head when I'm riding around in like a squid alert game, and I see somebody improperly geared, I think, oh, squid. You know, again, it's you know, just my personal opinion. You should be well prepared for the ride. But again, you have the right not to, you know, and I'm sure, you know, when they read you your rights when they arrest you, you know, I mean, not getting arrested would have been your best option, not to know what your rights are. So, if you have the right to, you have the right to road rash, you know, if that's what you want, you know, you have the right to traumatic brain injury, if that's what you want, you know. That's me personally, kind of more like to avoid all that. But, you know, I got a good family to go home to. I got a beautiful wife at home, and beautiful kids and grandkids and great-grands, you know, and, you know, they like seeing me pulling on the motorcycle, and my great-grandkids are like a couple of puppy dogs jumping up and down whenever I get home. So that's always nice, you know. Don't want to disappoint them. I want them to see me come home in one piece. So when you're out riding, be safe, be courteous of others. You know, watch for the people that aren't watching for you. You know, one bad thing about Florida is that you get a lot of people that weren't born here. They move to Florida because it's a nice place to live. They bring their, not necessarily their bad driving habits, but their different driving habits from all over the country, and sometimes they just don't mix well in traffic. You know, they bring your riding style from California, New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, and you put them with some of these guys from, you know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Sometimes the different driving styles don't mix. Lots of times road rage ensues. I like to avoid that if I can. Now, if you ever hear me say thank you, that probably means somebody just cut me off or something like that. I don't like to swear or cuss at anybody, but I like to make it known that you've just upset me. And I usually say thank you, and that means thank you for your discourtesy and not paying attention to what's going on. That's just me. I'm just that guy. My kids used to call me, when they were growing up, they used to call me Ned Flanders. And I used to think it's because I had brown hair and mustache and more glasses. Turns out they just thought I was that really nerdy dude that would just never, you know, swear or get angry with anybody. And life's short, why bother, you know? You know, people are going to do stupid things, can't help it, can't control it, whatever. Move on with your life. Don't let somebody else's mistake ruin your life. Or, you know, sometimes, you know, somebody else's mistake can change your life drastically, but, you know, try and, you know, if nothing happens, it's just a near miss, whatever, get over it. Don't let it eat your lunch. So we're almost home. I enjoyed my little ride this morning. Like I said, now it's time to take on some of my adult responsibilities. I'm gonna wash my bike, wash my car. Looking forward to that, getting all nice and sparkly. So the the love bugs can rain more havoc on them. You know, I was getting a little thinking, maybe we'll go see the Avengers movie. Maybe next vlog I'll give a movie review instead of a motorcycle review. That might be something a little different, a little interesting. Well, this is my street, heading home. So again, this is Chip from the Iconic Sport Cycle Motovlog. Getting ready to sign off here. Again, great thing about living here in Florida. Look at this nice little neighborhood, palm trees, you know. Life is good, you know. I may not be a wealthy man as far as, you know, money, but man, I get it everywhere else, man. So you guys have a great day and talk to you real soon.